Minimalism, buying and selling used goods. So I think that one of the most important skill sets that we can acquire in life and to become comfortable with is the miracle of buying and selling your higher priced items used. In this video, I'm going to go into how to buy items used, how to sell items used, the personal financial impact of that, but also the environmental impact, and then finally, the potential global economic consequences of more people buying and selling their goods used. I think that this can truly lead people to personal financial freedom if they learn to not be caught up in the race of status and always purchasing their items new, and if you can develop this easy skill set to purchase your more expensive items used. So for starting off with buying used goods, the general philosophy and theory behind why it's good to buy your items used is that every single item, as soon as it's purchased, has an initial depreciation cost. So this is very well understood with vehicles by most people. Everyone knows, okay, if you buy a new car, the moment that you drive it off the dealership lot, it initially goes down in value. But this actually applies to every single item. Every item, once it's purchased, it initially depreciates anywhere from 10 to 90% as soon as it's taken home. And furniture for this is a great example. So a lot of people purchased new furniture when they're furnishing their homes on credit. And they take out loans and they finance it to do their furniture. And the general rule with furniture is you can sell it for about 10 cents on the dollar. So if someone buys a $3,000 couch and a year later they become insolvent and they have to sell it, they're probably going to get about $300 for that couch, or 10 cents on the dollar. So the whole philosophy behind why you should buy your items used is that you're essentially passing on that you're letting someone else handle that initial depreciation cost. So if you buy an item used, you're missing out on that initial hit of depreciation, and you do not have to worry about that. So it saves tons of money. And a perfect example is actually the computer that I'm using to edit this video you're watching now. I used to have a 2011 MacBook Pro, and it was a great computer, but earlier this year it was not working and I couldn't use it to edit videos in Premiere Pro or Adobe programs. And so I needed a new computer, and I was looking at the new Apple computers and they were super expensive. So I ended up buying a 2-year-old MacBook Pro from eBay. And I bought it, it had a fully maxed out RAM, it had 16 gigabytes of RAM, full processing speed, everything was maxed out on it. So retail knew it's about a $2,000 computer, and I purchased it for $1,000. So I let someone else take that initial 50% depreciation hit for me. And of course the computer is 2 years old, but it works amazingly, and I was able to save a ton of money doing that. And now for the example with camera gear, and this is going to lead me into the miracle of buying and selling used. So I've purchased all of my camera gear and equipment used, all the lenses and all the bodies for that. And recently I purchased a Sony Zeiss lens, and it's a really nice lens. It's super expensive. It was $1,000 new retail, and I bought it used for $685. So off the bat, I let someone else take that $315 depreciation initial hit for me. But the miracle of buying and selling used is the realization that if you buy an item used and you sell it used, you're not actually buying and selling, you're essentially renting. And this especially applies to certain items like lenses, because you will have things like cars and vehicles where they are constantly depreciating as you put miles on it and over the lifetime of the vehicle. But there's other items that once they take that initial depreciation hit of value as soon as it's purchased, they actually flatline in value. And that applies for lenses. Occasionally a new lens can come out that would lower the value of another lens, but with all the lenses that I've owned, I've used them for 1 or 2 years. I bought them used, so someone else took that depreciation hit. So I bought them used, I used them for 1 or 2 years, and then sold them for the exact same price 2 years later. And in the meantime, I used those lenses to make money doing photography shoots and for my own personal business and use. So this is truly the miracle of buying and selling used, because many items, they'll depreciate slightly, but so many items never depreciate once they've had their initial depreciation hit. So you're essentially just renting that item. And now to transition into selling your items used. And again, this is just an amazing skill. And as you're becoming a minimalist, or as you're going down this journey, or maybe you're way more advanced than I am, you've learned that selling your items is a great way to get rid of items, but also to make money. And when we're cleaning out our homes from things that are not meaningful to us, you'll find that there's some stuff that you're just gonna have to throw away, like used sheets or used underwear. Like, no one wants that, just throw it away. And then there's gonna be other items that you should be donating to charity. So I give a lot of goods to Goodwill. It's an amazing company that helps people, or charity that helps people develop work skills. And for me, I donate my lower priced items to Goodwill because it's not really worth my time selling them, and it's going to a great cause. And I think if you have a higher net worth, I would honestly just recommend donating all of your items to charity, because you're gonna be helping a lot of people and you're also gonna be saving a lot of time. But if you're like me or most people, where every dollar counts, with your higher priced items, learning how to sell them used is gonna help you out dramatically. So everyone watching this video should immediately open up an eBay account, if you don't already have one, and start buying and selling on there so you can develop your ratings or reputation, because it's gonna be an invaluable resource. I think that the main thing that's holding people back from buying and selling their items, when I talk to people, because a lot of people are just not familiar with it. That's the main thing, is they're like, they have all this valuable stuff in their home that they're not using, but they have never sold anything before and they have no idea how to. It's confusing to them, and they're just like, oh, I don't know. And then it just like sits in their basement. But the truth is that no one is born knowing how to do this. When I started off, I had no idea how to sell on eBay, no idea how to sell used, but like everything in life, it's a skill that can be developed with practice. So I recommend everyone to start doing research. It's very simple. Everyone has a phone now that can take pictures. So you take pictures that are normal, you write a normal title. I list my items on Tuesday afternoon on a 5-day listing. I know that they're gonna end on Sunday afternoon, and I know that it's gonna sell for fair market value. It's very simple, and it really just comes about through practice. So I recommend just start buying used, start selling used, just figure it out. You'll make some mistakes in the beginning, but it's such a good skill to have, because you can help yourself out, you can help your family members out, and it's amazing. And now to go into the environmental aspect of buying and selling your items used. So ever since the Industrial Revolution, we have been producing mass quantities of goods. Year after year, production has been ramping up. And in the United States, we've moved our factories over to Asia and other countries, but that doesn't mean that they're not still producing. And for me, the environmental impact of buying and selling used is obvious. You are truly recycling when you're buying and selling used. There are so many items on this planet that honestly never, ever, ever, ever have to be produced again, or maybe not for at least another 500 years. There are too many spoons on this planet. I think that there's probably enough spoons to occupy like 20 planet Earth's worth of people. Yet every single year, millions of new spoons are produced. So what if everyone started buying and selling their silverware, their clothing, or whatever it may be used? How much of an environmental impact would that have? I cannot even imagine. But it also brings me into the next step, which is the global economic impact of buying and selling used. Because as you're watching this, you might think, okay, Cal, well, what if we stop buying spoons? Then the spoon businesses and the factories are going to go out of business. And I agree with you. I think that it would have a horrible effect on our current economy. So our current economy is predicated on growth. It's a debt-fueled economy that has to grow in order to sustain itself. And for recent history, it has grown year after year after year. But there's a lot of economic theorists that are saying that we are at the end of growth. And as we are starting to approach 9 billion humans on the planet by 2050, I think it's really going to become a stewardship principle of people who wake up and go, wait a second, we don't have to continue to produce all these things that take up valuable fossil fuels and resources and time and energy of all the people that are putting themselves into making these spoons, we don't have to do this. We can recycle the spoons that we already have. And that's just an example, but I think that our economy as we know it now, our healthcare system, our financial currencies, every facet of our society, I think is going to die in our lifetimes and be reborn. And I think that the new economy is going to be based on recycling and buying and selling used and doing these things because it just makes sense. And yes, maybe people will work less. Maybe this will free people up to pursue artistic pursuits or financial, not financial, but spiritual goals. If everyone had more time, maybe people would focus on different things on the planet instead of constantly acquiring more. So this is just food for thought. I hope you guys like this video. If you would like more people to see it, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I would love if you guys commented because it has been amazing to start this YouTube channel with the sole purpose of getting better at speaking and kind of just training and practicing, and then to start having people watching and giving feedback. It's been amazing. So I'd love if you commented on any of the things I just talked about, maybe the best items that you bought and sold used, your favorite methods for doing that, or even your ideas on the global economic or environmental impact of buying and selling used. And I will see you guys next week. Ciao.